Hi ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our show, A Taste from Home. My name is Hao, I'm the chef for today, and I'll be showing you some beautiful Taiwanese dishes. And today we have some beautiful pork loin chops, and we'll be cooking them two ways. The first way is a deep fried pork chop, which is a popular Taiwanese snack, and the second way we're going to braise it and turn it into some of the best Taiwanese lunches. And if you want to know how to do this, stay tuned, we'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to our show. So to start with, we're going to marinate our pork chops. It's going to be nice and easy, everything's done in a big bowl and there's no mess. So for a start, we're going to get flavor of some of our aromatics. And we have some spring onions here, which we're going to not cut, but we're going to bash them and get all the juices out of the fibers. So what you can do is just smashing it. Cooking's fun. Get the flavor out, twist it. Just by doing this, you're crushing all the fibers in there. And then we're going to just chuck it in the bowl. So see how that's all broken and all the juices coming out from the spring onions, and that would be perfect for this. And then now next up, we're going to get some of our garlic and ginger. We're going to do the same to them. Now pork works really well with ginger and garlic. Very typical for Asian cookery to have some wonderful garlic and ginger. So we slice this, and then we're just going to pound it again, crush out the fiber, and get the flavor out. Probably go a little bit more. So probably looking at the size of a thumb, the thumb of ginger. Juices coming out, garlic, get the skin off. So here we have about 4 cloves of garlic. So let's finish it again. Don't chop it too fine because we're marinated and then we're going to deep fry later, but we don't want to have big chunks of garlic on our pork chop. It's nicely bashed. So that's all our aromatics. Okay, now that we have our aromatics ready, we're going to add a few traditional Chinese and Taiwanese sauces and condiments to lift this to another level and make it a lot more flavorful. So I'm having with me some Chinese wine and soy sauce. So I'll add them one by one into our lovely marinade. So here we have probably about maybe one and a half tablespoon of Chinese wine. You can use rice wine or you can use Chinese wine, that's all fine. Then we have our Taiwanese soy sauce. Make sure it's the light soy, not the dark soy. The dark soy is too dark and the flavor is not right. So be slowly. Okay, so 1, 2.5, and that should be enough for four pork chops. Drizzle of sesame oil. Now we have some pepper here to spice things up, and Chinese 5 spice works really well with pork chops. Not that much. And then we also like about 1 teaspoon of sugar. Mix all that together. Then there's a better way you can do this and release all the flavor into the sauce, and then you just pound everything together. So all the flavor of the ginger, the spring onion, and the garlic will go into the sauce and make a perfect marinating for this dish. Now we're also going to adding some water for this, 2 spoons of it. And what this does, it will help to increase the moisture and stop the pork from drying out when you cook it, and also increase the volume of the marinade. Just pound it however you like. The more you pound, the more flavor it is. And I think now we're ready to marinate our pork. So we'll set that aside, and then we'll start preparing our pork chops. So now that we've finished making our marinade, we're going to move on to dealing with our pork chops. So we are using pork loin chops today. And the reason why we don't use other cut is because this is the perfect cut for this. If you're going to use a better cut such as the fillet, it's going to dry out too fast. But if you use something that's like a pork belly and you've got too much fat in it, it's not going to taste good with this dish. So what we're going to do, we're just going to remove the fat from the pork chops. It's not going to taste good if you have lots of deep fried fat. So say that enough. And then what we're going to do is going to cut the mess out and use one of these cling film. So we're going to cover it to stop the meat from flying everywhere, because we're going to bash this into a nice piece of schnitzel. Put the knife away and then start to have fun. So it's just working the pork chop outwards. So you can use the other end to push out the small area. I would say maybe about half a centimeter thick would be perfect for this. If you go too thin, it will dry out. If you go too thick, it won't cook properly. You can use a hand to push it out. Push, 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 push. You can let your kids do the work for you. Let's check the schnitzel. A little bit more. So that will be about the right size, the right thickness, and it's ready to marinate. Okay, so now we've done all the work out and bashed the pork up. We're just going to mix it. Well, you can choose to use a spoon. That keep your hands clean. But I like going in with a clean hand and just use my hand and bind everything together. Make sure all the marinade goes to every bit of the pork. Make sure the pork is well coated. Just make sure the meat marry with all the lovely flavor. So that looks about nicely marinated, and we're just going to leave it in the fridge for a couple of hours. Let all that sauce enter the fiber of the mussels, and then we'll deep fry them and finish them nicely. Yep, that's it. Okay, so now our pork has been sitting in the marinade for 2 hours, and that should be enough for all that wonderful flavor to go into the pork. There we go. So now we're going to deep fry these little babies, and we're going to have pork chop for lunch. So what we have here is some tapioca starch. You can use corn flour, you can use sweet potato flour. Actually sweet potato flour is the best. It creates a better texture. So we'll put that here. And I have hot oil right here ready to go. So So we're gonna do this 2 by 2. So with the pork, just want to remove all the ginger and garlic because they're not always that nice when you bite into them. Okay, so pull that off. Just press the pork into the flour to make sure there's even nice coating. And do the same for the other side. And I think this is almost ready to go into the hot pot in the oil. Dance for a bit. And that's ready to go into the hot oil for a bath. Just shake off a little bit of the excess. And it goes laying away from you so you don't get any burn. So we'll do another one as that one's frying. So remember to flip the fork halfway for even cooking. Just going to turn the first one around. The temperature of the oil should be roughly about 170 to 180. And we'll get that crust nice, golden and crunchy. And I reckon that should be ready to come out. Now that's ready to come out. Looking fantastic and I'm hungry already. Turn off all the oil. And there you have it. So now these pork chops has been resting here for a minute or two and they are more relaxed now and we don't want the juice to run everywhere, so we rested it. So now it's ready to go. So I'm just gonna cut this up. Just hear the crunch. It's the most exciting part of cooking. Oops. And this will go perfect with a cold beer. Now if you like, you can always go with some pepper. It smells fantastic. And if you like to be spicy, some chili powder as well. Just mix that all up. They'll be ready to eat. Now remember I promised to cook 2 styles of pork chops. So half of those, which is on the other side, we have turned it into lovely crunchy fried pork chops, which turn into bits. And someone's having it with some beers. So now, these ones, we're going to turn into braised pork chops. So remember how we had the aromatics from the marinade? Don't throw it away because we're going to use it. So we have a hot pan here, going with some oil. I'm going to get all the rest of the flavor out from this marinades. Let's get a spatula. It's hot enough. Let's go. At this point, we're throwing out all the flavor from spring onion. We're also going to add 1 chili, touch more oil. Give it extra kick. 1 star anise. Feel the caramelization going on, and that's all good flavor that's going to be in our sauce. So 1 tablespoon of sugar, maybe a touch more, 1.5. So we just want some brown color in there. Because the brown color has this toasty flavor. And don't worry if the pan's catching, that's okay because we're going to put in some wine and all that flavor is going to come off and make the color of the sauce. So all the sugar is happening, all the oil is happening. And this place smells amazing. So now, a touch of oil. I would say about half a tablespoon. There we go. And then we'll measure ourselves. 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. It's the same one we just used to marinate our pork chop. And then we need some water in this. 5. And now we're just going to let it cook and simmer. Let all the flavor combine with sauce before we put the pork chop in. Always wait a bit for this because we want the pork chop to cook not in a bit of water or a bit of spring onion, but to let it cook in a perfect sauce. So let's taste this before we put our pork in. It's probably a little bit salty, so we just add a tiny bit more water and let it cook a little bit more. So for now, all the flavors from all the ingredients in there have gone into the sauce. I think that's ready for the pork chop. So we can do both of them at the same time. Just let it soak out all the sauce. Just so exciting looking at this happening. And then again, we have to give it a flip in the middle. So the difference between a normal pork chop and one that's been deep fried and coated with the flour is that the flour on the outside is soaking up all that juice, all the sauce in there. If you just have a naked piece of pork, it probably doesn't soak up the sauce as well as this. And this is just more sexy than your usual pork chops. That should be ready. And just look at the color. You can see the coating of corn flour taking all the sauce in. And that's amazing. So now we're going to plate everything up. Usually in Taiwan we have this pork with rice and some vegetables. So it's a bit different from the deep fried version. So we have some rice here ready. Here comes our pork. So with all the sauce in there, we're not going to throw it away because that's the best bit. You have the pork, you have the aromatics, you have the spices, you have the salt and sugar, everything. Just going to put it on here. And there will make the rice taste amazing. Just give it a light press. Make sure you're ready for this because that's one of the best lunch you can have. Right here. There you go, a typical Taiwanese lunch. That's perfect for anyone. And our deep fried pork chop. These are very popular in Taiwan. And hope you enjoyed the show today. Thank you. So here we are with our two lovely dishes. First, which was the deep fried pork chop, which we cut into pieces. And then, with the other half of that, we produced an amazing lunch, which is the braised pork chop. And then we had some lovely rice and green beans to go with. And that's two very popular Taiwanese dishes done at home. Very good taste from home. Sorry to be doing this on the camera, but oh, where's my beer?